Greetings, gamer guys and gals. Welcome to part number 58 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 5 Thracia 776, and in today's episode we are going to be continuing on with the epilogue, which might actually take us quite a bit longer than just one episode, as I do desire to keep my episodes 30 minutes around, and the epilogue in this game is kind of massive. It's interesting, because out of all the games in the series, I think this epilogue is the biggest, considering that it gives more information per unit than pretty much any other epilogue in the series does. I appreciate that considerably, because even though this is kind of like a midquel for genealogy, it does tell us the happenings of several characters from genealogy that we don't really learn too much of, as well as certain characters who obviously aren't in genealogy. Well, all of the characters who aren't. There's plenty. So with that being said, we're going to move right on. Yes, that's the end of this whole mess. Hard to believe this all started with Raedric kidnapping little Nan and Marita, huh? Ah, little lord, it breaks my heart to do this, but me and some of the others have got to head back to Fianna. What? You're not coming with me, Avel? Why would you do that? We may have kicked the Lautrians out, but there's still lots of pirates around. I can't just leave Fianna and Iz to fend for themselves. Besides, how useful do you think we'd be? You've got a whole army of knights and mages and priests now. You don't need us. But, Avel... Little lord, I'll be looking forward to the day when you beat the Empire for good and come back to Leonster. When that day comes, not if, but when, I'll bring everyone to Leonster to celebrate. I'd like that. Alright, Avel, it's a deal. I promise I'll come back, and you promise to have everyone ready to celebrate. But you might be waiting for a while, so please be patient with me. I don't think we'll be waiting for long, actually. I believe in you, Little Leaf. Go show the Empire what it's like to have you for an enemy. Lord Leaf. Linowin? Ah, I imagine this must be very bittersweet for you. North Thracia has been returned to our rightful hands, but Tara remains in Thracia's clutches. You know I'll stop at nothing to recapture the city, so won't you travel with me for a while longer? Of course I will, Lord Leaf. Duchess Linowin, though it pains me to say it, I cannot go with you. How can that be, Dean? Why can't you? Thracia is my motherland. North and South shall soon face each other in battle, and I cannot fight against my home. You should stay with the Prince Linowin. He'll protect you from now on. Dean, how can you say such a thing? I couldn't bear to go on without you. Linowin? I will abandon my plans to retake Tara if it means you will stay, Dean. So please, remain at my side. Don't say something so stupid, Linowin. This isn't like you at all. Damn it, now that I think about it, I'd be hurting both Prince Leaf and my sworn lord if I left with things the way they are now. I have to avoid that no matter what it takes. Now look here, little lady. You've just got to say it right now. But... If you don't say it now, you'll only regret it. Or are you comfortable with staying the cute little sister forever? But Marita... You're just going in circles. I'm getting impatient. Hey, Leaf! What is it, Marita? God, what's got you looking so grim? Go on, Nana. You can do it. Lord Leaf? Oh, Nana. There hasn't been a chance for just the two of us to talk. I wanted to thank you. You've been just as big a help as anyone, and I wanted to make sure you knew how grateful I am. You give me too much credit. I hardly did anything at all. I think not. We were raised like siblings, and you've always been there for me, Nana. You were always there to support me, to comfort me when I needed it, and I wouldn't have fought half as well if I didn't have you to keep my spirits up. When this is all over, I'll go looking for Rakusus, and if I find her, I'll tell her. I've fallen in love with your daughter, Nana. I humbly ask for your blessing to wed her. Ah, Lord Leaf. I know we have a long way to go before our battle is over, but I hope you'll stay by my side, Nana. Of course I will. I'm honored, Lord Leaf.
Prince Leaf, Lord Seliph is here to see you.
It seems my reinforcements were unnecessary. I'm relieved to see you safe, Prince Leaf.
Lord Seliph, we're only here because you intervened at Leonster. The credit for this victory is yours.
No. North Thracia was liberated by you, Prince. With your own strength, I merely played a momentary role, nothing more. All of North Thracia is agreed on uniting under your rule, it seems. If a country that vast and wealthy were to join the fight against the Empire, my liberation army would have cause for celebration. Prince Leaf, will you continue to fight alongside me? There's still much left to be done, but if we were to join forces, I know we could overcome any challenge in our way. If you would accept it, I offer you a vow of eternal friendship, to live and die as one, just as our fathers vowed before us. I'm honored to accept your oath. After all we've been through, I think of you less as a cousin, more as an older brother. Nothing could make me happier than the idea of pooling our strength to create a brighter future for everyone. Then let us swear it upon this sword. We may have been born apart, but we shall die as one. As your friend, as your sworn brother, we shall join hands and deliver Jugdrol from this evil. This I vow to you. And I vow just the same to you, an undying oath, and may the stars themselves perish before it is broken. Thus Leaf's battle, which started in the remote village of Fianna and ended with the liberation of North Thracia, came to a close. Yet although Leaf's battle has ended, the war for Jugdrol has just begun. In South Thracia, Travant's kingdom has already amassed great power. In the Granvale Empire, Crown Prince Julius, the Scion of Darkness and Incarnate of Loptus, is still alive and well. Now, in year 777 of the Granvale calendar, the world stands on the brink of a new era. Chapter 1, The Warrior Fianna, 8 turns. Chapter 2, The Coastal Village, 7 turns. Chapter 2X, The Corsair Isles, 11 turns. Chapter 3, Kerberos Gate, 15 turns. Chapter 4, Imprisoned, 25 turns. Chapter 4X, Hero on the Wind, 15 turns. Chapter 5, Mother and Daughter, 28 turns. Chapter 6, The Escape, 16 turns. Chapter 7, The Shield of Thracia, 15 turns. Chapter 8, Mount Veeldrake, 10 turns. Chapter 8X, Dagdar's Manor, 14 turns. Chapter 9, The Banner of Njorn, 14 turns. Chapter 10, Noel Valley, 21 turns. Chapter 11, Fort Dundrum, 16 turns. Chapter 11X, Desperate Ground, 11 turns. Chapter 12, The Bandit of Dacia, 14 turns. 12X, The Dandelion, 31 turns. 13, The Walled City, 16 turns. 14, The Onslaught, 10 turns. 14X, Yearning to Breathe Free, 16 turns. 15, Two Paths, 12 turns. 16, Nordheim, 24 turns. 17, The Gates of Leonster, 18 turns. 18, The Liberation of Leonster, 24 turns. 19, The Empire's Wrath, 11 turns. Chapter 20, The Scion of Light, 15 turns. 21, The War of Liberation, 14 turns. 21X, The Prison Camp, 4 turns. 22, Beyond the River, 2 turns. 23, The Fiend's Lair, 3 turns. 24, The Baron in Black, 11 turns. 24X, The Lotrian Altar, 8 turns. Sworn Upon a Sword, Endgame, 4 turns. Complete military record. Total turns, 463. Surviving units, 42. Overall rank, E. Now, I did play a casual playthrough, so I expected it to be a bad rank. Plus, I allowed several units to be lost on purpose. So the credits roll. And Though we have played, I would say, a casual playthrough of this game, I do have some plans to come back and revisit this game yet again. It's going to be quite a while before I do that, because I would like to go through all 5 of my top 5 Fire Emblem games in a Let's Play, including Path of Radiance on difficult mode, to redo that Let's Play particularly. I'm even thinking about spicing it up with some restrictions. I do want to eventually, as I said, come back to Thracia. And when I do, I'm going to be doing all kinds of things with it. Iron Mans, Round B, pre-promote runs, no guidance, all kinds of different things, because I love this game. It is my favorite in the series, bar none. And that has to do with the design of it all from the beginning to the end. The story, the game elements, the wondrous power of Leif and his army, all the incredibly busted skills and staves and weapons, the preferential weapons galore, the challenging yet interesting chapters, many of them quote-unquote cheesable, and I enjoy that about Thracia, so we are going to be coming back to this game. You can bet your bottom dollar, top and middle even. Leif, Prince of Leonster, 48 wins, 0 losses. Along with Lord Seliph, the rightful heir to the Imperial throne, Leif led the war to liberate Jugdral. After seizing the capital of Belhalla, Leif went on to fight numerous battles throughout the continent. When all was said and done, Leif's fame and renown ultimately surpassed even that of Holy King Seliph. In year 780 of the Granval calendar, North and South Thracia were unified into one country. Leif took the throne of this new kingdom of Thracia, and together with his queen, Nana, and older sister, Altena, led his motherland into a new era of prosperity. They were beloved by the people of North and South alike. Dedicating their lives to reunifying Thracia, Leif and Altena were hailed as the successors to Dain and Njorn. In the annals of Thracian history, the name of King Leif the Wise, the Sage Lord, will echo for eternity. Finn, Lance of Legend, 61 wins, 0 losses. After hearing word that Leif had safely taken the throne, Finn suddenly disappeared. It was 3 years before he was seen again, reappearing just as suddenly as he had first vanished. No historical records exist of where he had gone or what he had been doing during his long absence. The only evidence that remains are strange rumors that he had been seen in the Yeed Desert. Nana, Princess of Nordion, 45 wins, 0 losses. Following their victory at Belhalla, Nana devoted herself to helping Leif liberate Augustria. After wedding Leif, now king of New Thracia, Nana dedicated her time to aiding the many orphans of the war. Known for her beauty and compassion, she was affectionately called Princess Nana even after becoming queen. By all accounts, she continues to enjoy a happy marriage with Leif to this day. Avel, Mistress of Fianna, 18 wins, 0 losses. Returning to Fianna for a time, Avel temporarily led a quiet, peaceful life. Eventually, her Gios, the compact she had made with the dragons, expired. And with its end,
her memory returned 7 years after the end of the Holy War. Her belated reunion with her children became the subject of a timeless song, known to any bard who can play a lute. Merida, Sword of Stars, 67 wins, 0 losses. Still ashamed of her lack of discipline for having been possessed by the Shadow Sword, Merida embarked on a journey to train and better herself alone. Before long, she grew into a formidable swordswoman, one whose name was known throughout the continent. But no matter how well known she became, she would always say, "I'm nothing compared to my mother." Halvin, layman turned hero, 4 wins, 0 losses. After Avel departed Fianna, Halvin took up the role of village leader and commander of the Freeblades. He quickly demonstrated his talent for leadership, and Fianna developed and expanded under his wise rule. Nowadays, Fianna is the envy of every village on Thracia's east coast. Ocean, the Ornery Axeman, 77 wins, 0 losses. After returning to Fianna, Ocean married and was blessed with many children. However, he remained prone to mood swings all his life, and his quick temper was inseparable from his kind heart. He eventually earned a reputation around the village as that oddball old man. Despite not being fond of the other villagers, he proved to be a reliable man, always willing to help those in need. Tanya, Dagdar's beloved daughter, 5 wins, 0 losses. After moving to Fianna, Tanya married and was blessed with many children. Owing to her honest and open-hearted nature, she quickly became a busybody, albeit a well-intentioned one. She made it her business to help everyone, and over time, the villagers came to rely on her just as they would a relative. Dagdar, ex-bandit of Mount Veeldrake, 45 wins, 0 losses. Returning to Mount Veeldrake, Dagdar again gathered his underlings and set them to restoring the barren land. After a few years, the soil around Mount Veeldrake was reborn into rich, fertile farmland. Marty, Dagdar's beloved man, 0 wins, 0 losses. Returning to Mount Veeldrake, Marty reunited with his old friends and set about restoring the barren land. While somewhat dim-witted, his absent-mindedness gave way to a sort of rugged honesty and innocence. His straightforward and uncomplicated nature won him many friends, and he was especially beloved among children. Ronan, villager of Iz, 3 wins, 0 losses. Ronan went back to Iz, where his mother awaited his return. He then resumed his ordinary life of hunting. Sometime afterward, he quietly married and lived happily for the rest of his days. Safi, servant of the divine, 1 win, 0 losses. Safi made her way back to Tara and devoted herself to healing the sick and helping the poor. The people looked at her like she was divine and eventually began to speak of her as if she were a goddess herself. Shiva, Sellsword of Saban, 2 wins, 0 losses. Chapter 24X, the Loptrian Altar, missing in action as of the above mission. I bet there's some folks who don't necessarily appreciate that one. Lithus, Shy Thief, 0 wins, 0 losses. Lithus was one of the many to earn a post as a government official and served as one for a short time before vanishing. During his time in office, the Kerberos garrison wiped out the pirates still hiding in the Corsair Isles and other nearby islands. After that resounding victory, Lithus simply disappeared from the pages of history. Fergus, Free-Spirited Knight, 86 wins, 0 losses. After the fighting was all over, Fergus vanished almost immediately. Was he an illegitimate son of the legendary knight Beowulf? A long-lost prince of the Connaught royal family? Rumors persist about this mysterious figure, but with Fergus gone, the truth has been lost forever. Karen, Swift Rider, 46 wins, 0 losses. Returning to her native Celeste, Karen finally fulfilled her dream of joining the Order of Pegasus Knights. Although her service record doesn't indicate she went on to do anything particularly noteworthy, Karen nevertheless became regarded as an excellent Pegasus Knight in her own right. Ced, Crusader of Wind, 24 wins, 0 losses. Upon returning to Celeste, Ced at last took the throne, as the people had longed for him to do. With his indomitable spirit and tireless work ethic, the war-torn Celeste slowly regained its former beauty. Asbel, Windswept Youth, 98 wins, 0 losses. Asbel fought alongside Leif for the entirety of the war, serving as his trusted aide and confidant. For each step Leif took down that harsh road, Asbel was always beside him, helping him shoulder the war's burdens. Afterward, he returned to his hometown of Harest, where he became a priest, as his father was before him. In only a few short years, tales of Asbel the Sage had spread to every corner of the land. Brighton, Knight of Munster, 16 wins, 0 losses. Returning to Munster, Brighton devoted himself to its reconstruction and also taught swordplay to all who wished to learn. After the city had been stabilized, he went on to open a small store with his new wife. Matcha, Blade of Gales, 7 wins, 0 losses. Matcha returned to Munster, where none could match her sheer zeal and passion for rebuilding the kingdom. She soon married a fellow soldier who had also served in the war and gave birth to a child. Despite these changes, her drive to aid Munster never wavered, and she stayed devoted to the city for her entire life. Laura, From Innocence to Thievery, 3 wins, 1 loss. Resuming her original trade of being a dancer, Laura went on to perform throughout Thracia. Her captivating dance, known to rejuvenate the audience's spirits, soon became a symbol of Thracia's own revival. Many people were themselves inspired by her artful, vivacious performances. Dawson, Knight of Unwavering Resolve, 9 wins, 0 losses. Determined to protect everyday folk from bandits, Dawson relocated to Kerberos Gate, near where his siblings lived. He maintained a round-the-clock watch, fighting off brigands every day and night. For a time, his life was a cycle of battle. But before long, the bandit gangs that had long plagued the area around the fort were all but wiped out. Once said to be a place more terrible than hell itself, the fort was now called more safe than the gates of heaven. Hicks, father and axeman. Declining a government post, Hicks instead returned home to his family where he led a quiet life. But even when working, he always kept his trusty axe close at hand. He is said to be ever vigilant, constantly keeping watch for danger. Glade, Knight of Integrity, 0 wins, 0 losses. Chapter 24X, The Loptrian Altar. Missing in action as of the above mission. Wonder if we ever went back and reclaimed these lost souls. Selphina, Bow of Beauty, 41 wins, 0 losses. After the new kingdom of Thracia's army had been stabilized, Selphina resigned from her post as an officer. Instead of becoming a mother, she opened her family's mansion to the many children who lost their parents in the war. The orphans she saved grew up to be great men and women, a new generation that guided Thracia into the future. Because of this, Selphina is not only remembered as a knight, but also as the Mother of Thracia. For centuries afterward, people would invoke her name for good fortune, hoping to inherit her strength and kindness. Cain, Lance of Leonster, 0 wins and 0 losses. Leaving the ways of the Lance behind him, Cain became a civil servant. He instituted sweeping reforms to restructure Leonster's army, making comprehensive policy changes one by one. Nicknamed the Taciturn Tactician, it is said that Leif and his descendants relied greatly on his wisdom. Alba, Lance of Leonster, 0 wins, 0 losses. At his own request, Alba was reassigned by Leif and Altena to a post in the former region of South Thracia. There, he strived to quell the area's civil unrest and restore order to the war-torn land. At first, the locals treated him with distrust, referring to him only as the Northerner. Yet his jovial and friendly nature eventually won over the people's hearts, and they treated him as one of their own. Robert, Bowman of Leonster, 0 wins and 0 losses. Robert's fondest wish was granted when he was assigned to a permanent post in the army of New Thracia. I want to thank you for joining me as we continue through the epilogue. We've got one more episode to go through. And if you like my content, please upvote or follow or like and subscribe depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.